Hello, everyone. So we're coming to the end of our emergency medical financial binder journal. And what we have here is real life experiences. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read these just in case some of you have a hard time reading and want to know. If you don't care anything about the real life stories, just don't listen to it and don't print them. Don't bother putting them in your binder. Okay? Take caution. An elderly woman I once knew made a change to her power of attorney, she absolutely believed it was the wise and productive choice. After her death, the truth surfaced. The person she had trusted had taken advantage of her, and the financial damage ran deep. She never knew. In the aftermath, decisions were questioned, grief was misdirected, and blame landed where it didn't belong. There was no family feud, just a series of choices with unintended consequences. Choose your power of attorney with care. Trust is not enough. Look for integrity, accountability, and someone that will look out for you the way you want to be looked out for when you can't. All right, so please, please choose your power of attorney wisely. When paperwork and staff fails, my mom was in the nursing home and she wanted a clock. So I went and bought her a clock. It was great. It had the temperature inside and out, date, time, day of the week. And when she left the nursing home, it was gone. I filed a complaint, but nothing came of it. E- Eventually, I was so drained that I just let the clock go. This is why the emergency cards are so important, the gift cards. If someone steals your gift cards, they're only stealing gift cards. They're not stealing your wallet or your money or your bank card. My mom had a DNR at the hospital and they claimed they didn't have it. So at 2 a.m., we received that phone call that said that they had brought her back to life after a heart attack. The doctor looked straight at me and said, "Are we going to do surgery or are we going to let her go?" Um, she would have been in a vegetable state if they had done surgery, 100% guaranteed. So I chose to let her meet Jesus. Um, Stay vigilant, stay connected. My dad lived in assisted living, and there was this wonderful nurse. Couldn't get any better. She was just phenomenal. And then there was others that didn't quite measure up so well. Um, my dad had money in his wallet and he kept it right with him, right side of his chair. And he went to the hospital one night. His wallet didn't go with him and it wasn't in his chair. We looked everywhere for it. We finally reported it, and weeks went by, and all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, the wallet appeared right back in the chair. Of course, the money was gone, which we knew that. But I pushed, and the it was investigated, and the nurse lost her job that took it. No, we didn't put any more press any more charges than that. To me, losing her job was less than enough. Later, my dad entered the nursing home, and he had a I had the nurse's direct line. I could call that night nurse anytime with any complaint, and the staff knew I would. Um, my dad had a nurse that he bonded with. It was his buddy, and he would store snacks for him. I would send snacks via Amazon, and guess what? The guy would stash them and give it to him whenever he wanted. Isn't that fun? Nutritionists didn't like that very much, but you know what? We also had an Alexa in his room, and in there we could see what was going on. Somehow that stayed there. I don't get it. So between having the Alexa to drop in on my dad anytime I wanted and his buddy giving him snacks, he was actually okay. Um, Sometimes what's best for the patient is seeing past the chart and showing up with your heart. Don't look away. A man I knew suffered injuries that made his life difficult. First at work, then at home, and then he fell. He refused doctor's appointments, and it became very clear that he was struggling. He was dehydrated. Finally, somebody stepped in and called an ambulance and didn't mind getting called all those names. On the very first night that he was, uh, so they took him from the hospital to nursing home for rehab. And that very first night, he pleaded for help, and didn't get it, and pulled out his PIC line. So guess what? Back to the hospital we went. Um, he was being neglected. And when the nursing home called to tell me what happened, I told them he was neglected, straight up. We could have filed a lawsuit, but we didn't because we're not that way. Could have. Very well could have. So, if you looks like your elders need help, they probably do. So, help them. The cost of misplaced trust. During medical emergencies, people often rely on neighbors or nearby contacts for quick help, handing over the house keys to take out the trash or grab a few essentials or empty out the refrigerator. I witnessed that small gesture of trust unravel into something much worse. Belongings disappeared, car was used without permission, confirmed by EasyPass. Cell phones weren't returned. Someone even claimed to be power of attorney, and they weren't. The hospital failed to verify the POA and ask for paperwork. The victim lay in a hospital bed while dismissed and confused. She was told she wasn't in her right mind. Oh, but she was. When a neighbor asked, "Are you moving out?" They were watching boxes being carried from her home, which made it painfully clear she was being robbed, not just of possessions, but of dignity, trust, and safety. The neighbors didn't call the police. By the time the truth surfaced, it was too late. The statute of limitations had expired. The legal doors had closed. There was no justice, just silence and regret. This binder will give you the hope that this won't happen to you. My son tore his ACL. He needed surgery, so I took the day off from work. And anybody that's been in management knows taking the day off during the week. Ooh, that's rough. Only to find out he hadn't been cleared by the anesthesiologist for his fatty liver. Procedure had to be rescheduled, and we finally got him cleared. If only I had confirmed everything before the big day. After surgery, physical therapy began. My husband, who was on workman's comp at the time, was taking him to his appointments, but something wasn't right. He wasn't walking. He wasn't improving. So I went to the next doctor's appointment. "Why isn't he walking?" the doctor asked. I fired back. "What is your physical therapist even doing?" The doctor walked right back out of the room and came back in with a script for a new therapist. Don't assume everything's been handled. Ask, challenge, push, because sometimes progress depends on you. When my older son was in high school, he made the football team, but then he couldn't play. He had poor sensitivity in his feet, and the pediatric doctor told my husband that my son was faking it. Oh, that didn't set well with Mama. I started doing my own research and realized what the real issue was: sensory sensitivity. We went to hear the band play outside the church, but he couldn't stay. The vibration was too much, too intense, too painful. He wasn't faking, he felt everything, more than people ever would. Don't let someone brush off what you know is real. If it matters to your person or to you, it matters. Do the research, ask the right questions, and listen even when others don't. These aren't just real stories, they're warnings. They're not rare. If I had had the right documents in the right place, more than one of these scenarios would have been better, would have gone better. This guide exists so you can take control now. While there's still time and you still have the choice to say what you'd like. That's the heart of it. This is you. This is your binder. This is not to scare you, but to help you so you don't go through everything I did. Feel free to add or take away anything from this binder. This is for you. Just a guide to be sure everything is taken care of. Add notes and remember to only print what you need. Right, this one I'm not going to spread all out. If I want the stories, they're going to be right here. Okay, in the binder. And that's it for real life stories. Peace.